bad utterances, either politically or ethnically.
Issue statements which are likely to cause some conflict among communities.
Utterances that tries to diminish certain community, ethnic community.
Any kind of material that is intended to mobilize one person or a community against a different entity altogether.
It's so unfortunate that the leaders that we've elected are the ones that are spearheading these hate speech issues. And we've seen quite a number of them in various parts of our nation, Kenya. And it's a serious issue which needs to be looked into.
The political class have been involved in hate speech. And this one dates way back to 1992 when we started the multi-party democracy. We had ethnic cleansing, targeting certain communities. And this problem has continued for several years, and it comes in every election year. 2007 we also had a similar problem. 2002 we had also a bit of the same problem. And we have had it, even 2005 we have had a similar kind of problem. 2007, 2008, it was the worst kind of a scenario.
Bado, lakini wamejaribu, lakini hawajafikia ile kiwango tunataka.
Serikali kweli imekuwa ikijaribu kuwapeleka hao wenye wahusika kotini, na nadhania jambo lingine lingefanywa ili ama adhabu kali ichukuliwe ili hao wengine wasirudie na matamshi kama haya.
I think it's trying. It's trying. But you see, it's a process. And it will be quite eliminated after certain generations. Apart from the government, I should think, first of all, that it is a community's initiative. It's supposed to be civic initiative. Each and every person is supposed to take responsibility in this capacity. We cannot blame government entirely for having failed. Yes, the government has come up with machineries to check with hate speech. For instance, the National Cohesion and Integration Commission is one of the machines, or rather body, that is instituted by the Act of Parliament to check on hate speech.
That political will is actually lacking, because despite the fact that these people were suspended from their positions when they were facing the charges of hate speech, but the police, or those who are supposed to do the prosecution under the executive arm of the government, have not actually done their work properly, because these people were captured in camera as they issued their statements. And I do not really understand how they escaped the law, despite the fact that it was within the public domain that they had actually incited their constituents against other communities.
They have not given value for money. Yes, they have done quite a lot of investigation. They have brought to light quite a lot of incidents we have seen through the television. But still, when they lack ability and the power to prosecute, still it provides it puts them in a limbo.
Citizens should avoid listening to the politicians, either tribally or politically. They should follow the right person. They should vote right and just avoid the whole tribalism thing.
People are supposed to be encouraged to intermarry, and also they should also start teaching this kind of behavior, etiquette, right from the beginning, right from a very young age.
Ninaweza sema viongozi wawe wa kwanza ama wawe mbele kuhubiri amani, na vile wanahubiri amani wasitamuke neno lolote la chuki, watamuke watu wakae kwa amani.
As a country, we need to promote national cohesion and integration among the different diverse communities in this country. And it is actually wrong for any particular leader to incite these own people against certain communities living within their area. And the government should take actually this one very seriously, because we have seen the events of 2007 when the country was almost collapsing because of tensions among the various communities, tribal conflicts among the various communities, which were politically instigated by the political class.
Maoni yangu ni kuambia watu, hasa viongozi, waunganishe watu, wasiwachochee, wawalete kama watu moja ama wawe kitu moja.
Basically, the letter and spirit of the new constitution was that we separate the three arms of government. That is the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. And for each of the three arms to function independently of the other. The changes I have seen so far in the judiciary is the ongoing vetting of judges and magistrates, and to bring in new blood and change the system, because you cannot only talk of reforms when you have the same people running the judicial system.
It's actually improved a lot, and it has specified certain roles of politicians, certain roles of key offices, appointments to those offices, and it's improved. It's an improvement. It's a step in the right direction.
The effect will be positive in a way that people will now, for the first time in the history of this country, they will be able to assess justice equitably, irrespective of one's social status in the society. The backlog in this country of cases, both criminal and civil cases, have been dragging on for many years in the courts. Also, there is a culture of impunity which is highly entrenched in our judicial system, particularly the political class. The political class and those who are well-off people do not actually have never been convicted at any one time, despite of the seriousness of the crimes they have committed. And this kind of impunity was actually the baseline for instituting judicial reforms in the country. But then, the way things are, we are not moving in the right direction.
Citizens should not vote according to the party itself. They should vote according to a person they know that can represent Kenya very well, nationally and internationally.
The role of the citizen is to abide by the law, and work towards create an atmosphere of peace and harmony with every other citizen, and also to show a sense of patriotism in every aspect of life.